All right, hey, good morning, YouTube. I am back here out at the park, Euclid Creek Park, for my morning walk. It's Saturday. I haven't been out here in a week. Has it been a week? Or I didn't come out at all last week, and then the week before that, I think I only came out like one day. Yeah, the weekend of July 4th, weekend before July 4th. I think I only came out one day. And then I didn't come at all last week. But anyway, I'm here. And I think last time I came out, I walked that mountain, both of them. My friend was out of town. He came last week, but I didn't come last week. And here I am. I've just been doing other stuff. Started bike riding. And, on Sundays. I'll do that on Sundays. And I have videos, workout videos at home that I've been using. Like in the morning, I was getting up early in the morning before I go to work. Just a half hour workout. And then in the evening, I would get on my treadmill. So I started working out with my weights a little bit because I had set them down like in February. I decided to give it a break for a minute because I wanted to kind of go easy on my body because, I would do a little too much sometimes. Hurt myself a number of times over the years with that. Just because I was get all excited and push myself a little bit too much. But anyway, it was never my plan to like completely abandon strength training. But I just started. I got weights at home and stuff. I had a gym membership, but that expired and I just haven't renewed it, and I might not renew it. We'll see. But anyway, I don't have a scale, so I have no clue what the weight loss has been. It's been like, I just go by, how my clothes fit. And I got some shorts and pants that are really, really loose, very loose. I had a friend years ago from Milwaukee. And he had lost a lot of weight. I mean, excuse me. He had been really, really heavy. Good morning. And he lost, oh shit, my umbrella. I think I left it in the car. I'm not going back. It looks like it's going to rain, but it's not calling for rain. Because I checked. Just cloudy. I think it rained last night though. Or maybe earlier this morning because I walked out my door. My driveway was wet. But anyway, my friend, he had lost a lot of weight. He was, oh man, there was a group, there was a pastor who, he was, I think he was a pastor in the Church of God in Christ, or he grew up in Church of God in Christ. No, I think he was a pastor in Church of God in Christ. And he, started learning about Black history, our heritage, and everything. So he changed his church. Matter of fact, it wasn't even, I don't know if you qualified as a church anymore. I got his face right in my head. I think his name was it Hagen's? Ray Hagen's or something like that, I think. And I can't remember what the name of the group was, the community was that he changed it to. But you can find his lectures and whatnot on YouTube. And I did get a chance to meet him here in Cleveland, but the guy that I'm talking about who lost a lot of weight, he worked with him. I think he worked right up under him. And why can't I remember his name? Got his face, and it's like on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, so he lost a lot of weight. But he was still wearing his clothes from when he was big. I mean, like really big. And I was like, why you don't get new clothes, And he said he just didn't. He just hadn't taken the time to do it. So I went to visit him in Milwaukee. And he was showing me how he was wearing his pants. They were so huge. I mean, he had to like double down on the belt, create new holes on the belt and whatnot. But anyway, he finally started getting some new clothes. He kept his weight off and everything. He looked really good. Looked like a totally different person. But yeah, so, when you do that, you lose all that weight, your clothes are really big on you. And it's like trying to maneuver when you're heavy. You don't like the way certain things look, and you're trying to maneuver in your clothes so they look a certain way. It was the same thing. Clothes too big and trying to, get them to look a certain way. Make them look like they fit when they quite obviously are too big. But yeah, he finally got him some new clothes, and so that's kind of how my stuff is fitting now. I didn't even really realize it. I threw on some jeans one day to go to work. I'm walking around and I noticed they're like slipping down like a lot. I was like, oh shit. It was uncomfortable. But at the same time, it was like, yay. Because those jeans a lot of times, you wash them and they kind of tighten back up or whatever, and when you first put them on after you wash them, they just walk around a little bit and then it starts to loosen up. But anyway, so I don't know what the weight loss has been, what the inches have been, or anything like that. And like I said before, I didn't even really realize how much weight I had gained. I was trying to figure it out, and I remember I made a video talking about how my eating was at one point, and I really didn't care at that particular time. Someone asked me when I had gained all that weight, and I was like, I told her, and I thought about it, I was like, that doesn't make sense. I think I told her, she asked me like maybe in April or March. And I was like, oh no, maybe around November, December. And he kind of hit me one day like, that doesn't make any sense because you didn't just start picking up that weight then. I mean, I had picked up a lot. And I didn't realize. But during the school year, when I started working during the school years, this past school year, I really wasn't going to the gym as much. I wasn't working out. Hardly. I was hardly working out. Schedule had changed because I had so much free time. Because during the pandemic last year, I didn't work at all. So I had a lot of free time. And then before that, I worked, but I didn't have like this full-time schedule. I kind of was put in a situation where I was able to go to work when I wanted to. Because I was subbing with the agency before that. What was I doing before I started subbing? I did have a little job at home, a full-time job at home. But that didn't last long. I think I had it for like 9 months or something like that. Close to it. Yeah, about 9 months. Good morning. But anyway, well, my life had been for like the last 5-6 years. I had a lot of free time. I didn't have to like work a full-time job. So I was able to work out when I wanted to. And where I was living, there was a Salvation Army had a workout room. I would go there. Sometimes there was another one at this rec center not far from where my daughter goes to school. I'd drop her off and I'd go there. Go to Planet Fitness whenever I wanted to. Now, I usually typically like to work out in the morning. I'm not really an evening person, working out in the evening. I just really didn't like it. So, I don't like it. I've done it, but I don't care for it. So anyway, when my schedule changed, I had to get my daughter to work at a certain time. School at a certain time, be to work, and I'm off work, pick up my daughter. Now, yeah, I could have went to the gym in the evening. I tried it a couple times. I just didn't like it. I just do not like going to work out in the evening, when I get off work. So I was kind of lax. And sometimes, because the gym that I was going to, the Planet Fitness that I was going to, is not far from where I live, sometimes I would get up early, be there like at 5 to make it to work on time. And I ain't like that shit either. So I got real slack. And I had stuff at home. I could weights, dumbbells at home, a barbell with a few plates. I got those plates actually for free. I got the barbell. It was a new barbell. And I think she charged me like $40 for it because I met this lady. She sells workout equipment outside of a storage space, like them U-Haul storage spaces or something like that, or some kind of storage space. And she had one. I contacted her about it, said I'm coming to get it. But by the time I got there, she wasn't sure if I was coming because I got there a little bit late. And I didn't leave right, when I told her I was coming to get it. So somebody came and bought it. So she said she didn't have any more. Well, she had one, but she really didn't want to sell it because it was really old. So she said she was, what she would do is she would travel around and find workout equipment and bring it back and sell it. And so she went looking for one, and we just kept missing each other, or she didn't get it. It was about 3 weeks past, and then finally she got one, and she was like, it was new. And she was like, I'm just going to give this to you for $40. I was like, okay, because of the back and forth. And I was like, well, I got to get some plates. And she just gave me like 6 plates, for free. She was like, just take these because, I had you going back and forth and running around because she wasn't close to where I lived. So I had a nice little drive to go get the stuff. So that was cool. But anyway, hey, good morning. Good, how you doing? So anyway, but and I had it, like I said, I had some videos. I just wasn't doing it. Shit. I'm telling you, man, you gain that weight, boy, without really realizing it. So, again, back to what I was saying. I don't have a scale. And,
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. And, it's my preference not to. Though, it's a good measure, At least you know what you're doing. If you, they say healthy weight loss is about 2 pounds a week. And you can't really tell if you've lost those 2 pounds unless you get on a scale and it shows it. You don't necessarily feel it. You lose inches here and there. You may not necessarily feel it. You lose a couple inches. It still may not reflect in your pants, that you've lost a couple of inches, a few inches. So sometimes I'll measure. have a tape measure. Just my waist. But I mainly just go by my clothes. Sometimes how my face looks. But it is still good to have. I just don't want to, well, I did use a scale before in times past. And just don't want to, it's like, it's all right. I'm not going to become obsessive about it. I'm not saying that if you use scale, you become obsessive about it. I'm not going to become obsessive about it. If somebody asked me, well, what's your goal? It's like, good morning. It's like, I don't have one. My goal, if you mean, how much do you want to lose? It's like, my goal is to make sure I get out of the stop and start pattern. Okay. Or achieve weight loss, gain weight, then, okay, let me start this shit back over again. Lose weight, all of that. I've done that since I can remember. Good morning, how are you? So, I stopped that. Goal is to stop doing that and to just be healthy, take care of myself. And make it an essential part of my life. And put myself in a situation where what I'm doing can be something that is sustainable, and that I can maintain. Not just lose it, not just work out to lose weight, number one, and not just do it to, gotta reach this goal, no matter the cost or the price, and fast, and then trying to maintain that from there. No, because at this point, I know my patterns. At this point. So get out of that cycle that I've allowed myself to be in. It feels so good out here. It's like 60 degrees, and I came out, it felt like kind of cool. And I got my shorts on and my t-shirt. I didn't bring a little jacket or anything. Left my umbrella in the car. But like I said, I don't think it's going to rain. Hopefully not. Not when I'm out here on this path. And I was like, it might be kind of cold, but as I'm walking, it feels really good. So eventually, I'm going to go to the lake because I love the lake. Like I said, I love big bodies of water. Not crazy about the path over there, but... And then I bike on Sundays. And I need to get something from my phone so I can hold it. So I can record it while I'm riding, which I haven't yet. And I was going to get a bike. I talked about that. I never got the damn bike. So I've been using my daughter's bike because she ain't going to ride it. She's not going to ride out there by herself. So first she was like, told me I couldn't use it because it is hers, So I asked her, and now she's just like, whatever, go ahead, I'm not going to ride it. So go to the park. Not this park, it's another park, Forest Hill Park. I don't live far from there. And I ride, and there's some nice hills in that park. And them bike seats. Know how they do you. Okay. I rode a bike. First time I got on that bike, morning. Not last Sunday, Sunday before last. I was like, these old damn seats. And just the discomfort of it all. I was like, nah, I'll go ahead and ride. Went in the park, went down those hills, it's some pretty steep hills. I had to walk the bike up the hill, okay? Because it's got little hills and it's got pretty big steep hills. And it's like in that area, it's like no matter where you go, you're on the hill. So now when I used to ride in the area that I used to live in, down the way, down the hill, the bottom of the hill, it was all flat. Maybe a little hill, but I wouldn't come up. I wouldn't go up the hill into the suburbs. I stayed downhill. But anyway, so it's like when you get up the hill in the suburbs, it seems like, at least in the area that I'm in, it's just hills, hills, hills everywhere. Slow inclines. Gradual inclines, rather. Good morning, how are you? Good, good, thank you. So anyway, so my daughter, she's been doing some baking this summer. That's what she is aspiring to be, a baker. And she's been making cookies, selling them. I've been on my job. Everybody's been buying cookies from her. So, one of the stores I go to, the corner store, lady, her birthday was the day. She wanted some cakes. She said she made cookies because I was trying to get them in the store. I said, yeah, she wants to be a baker. She said, oh, my birthday coming up. Tell her I want 2 cakes. Well, she said 1 cake. She said, I want she said, does she make pound cake? I said, I don't know if I ever recall her making pound cake. She might have, but like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of pound cake. And I said, but she makes a lemon cake because she wanted a lemon pound cake. She said, tell her, make me a lemon cake. I said, well, I could try to get her to make the lemon pound. She got to learn anyway. She said, no. She said, I want a lemon cake. I said, okay. She said, with cream cheese icing. And then she said, and a red velvet cake. I said, I think she only made red velvet one time now. And she was like, I don't care. She's young. Good morning. She said, I want to help her, support her, help her out. She said, let her know I'll be her test dummy. I said, okay. So she said she wanted a 2-layer lemon cake with cream cheese icing and a 3-layer red velvet cake. All right. So I get the stuff and everything. And she said, the lady said, tell her cream cheese icing made with powdered sugar. Now, I'm not a baker, okay? I'm not a box cake baker. I used to do that a lot in college. When I was in college, I used to always have like little dinner parties and stuff for my friends. And I was big on throwing a box cake together, okay? Always had a cake. But I don't do any baking at this point. So I told her, she said, cream cheese frosting, icing made with powdered sugar. Oh, my daughter looked at me and she said, Ma, that's the only way you make cream cheese icing. I said, well, excuse me, honey. The way she said it, like, don't you know? So I told the lady she said that. And the lady was like, no, she said, no, she's right. She said, but she had ordered a lemon cake from someone. First of all, she said the lady charged her $75. I'm like, for a damn cake? A simple lemon cake? She said the cake set so high. I mean, I don't know how many layers, probably about 5, 6 layers or some shit. She said then she took lemon cookies and crumbled it on top of the cake, which is fine. Sometimes I'm like, oh, people be doing too much. But then she said the icing, she said it didn't taste right. She said what she did was she made it with lard. And I'm like, what? Not like lard, but like, okay. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, you know the vegetable oil, not in a bottle, but in a can. You know that grandma and them used to use. I don't even know if they still, good morning, how you doing? I don't even know if they still sell that. I'm pretty sure they do. But she said it was just nasty. You know, it just didn't taste right. Now, good morning. Like I said, I'm not a baker. I don't even know the process of that. You know, my daughter's like, oh, it's super easy, you know. But anyway, so I asked my daughter if she had some cake pans. You know, my daughter just wants, this is her thing. If she says, let's go to the mall. Okay, what you want to do at the mall? What's at the mall? I just want a cookie. No, not a cookie. I want a pretzel from Auntie Anne's. A soft pretzel. That's it. Okay. And if we go, we might walk around for a second. A little bit. But she just ain't into it. She doesn't like it. She don't like the atmosphere. So she'll say her thing, Ma, I want to go to Barnes & Noble. Like, she love to read. All right. And she can be in there for forever. All right. And come away with a couple of books, trying to figure out, I got this much money if I get this book and this book, but I can't get this book if I get, all that type of thing. Okay, fine. Then she says, Ma, let's go to Home Goods. Okay, we go to Home Goods. When we go to Home Goods, she goes to the baking section and just looks at all the stuff. Okay, the rolling pins, the pans, the sheets, all of that shit. Okay, and then she's fine. We can leave now. After she's looked at it and soaked it all in. Okay. Like if we go to Barnes & Noble, I'm thinking okay, you have enough to get 3 books. So she'll get 3 books. And she really tries to work out the math, but I really want that book over there. But I can't, if I get that book, then I can't get blah, 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 this book. And eyes will be damn watering. Okay. If she cannot get a particular book, or just another book. It's like the collector's items. Okay. But, she and my mom was like, better for her to have that problem. Okay. There's some other issues. I'm like, that's for sure. All right. But anyway, so I asked her, said, do you have some baking? So she knows all her baking stuff that she has. And I can't touch it. Don't use my measuring spoons. Use those measuring spoons for whatever you need. Don't use my this. Don't worry, baby. That's your stuff. That's your baking stuff. I'm not going to touch it. I almost did one time. The tablespoon, because I was making some coffee. I couldn't find the measuring spoon that I use. I picked it up. I was trying to do it on slide so she didn't see me. And she looked, she said, I see what you're doing. Put that back. I was like, I can't find the other one. Well, we just got to look for it. Okay, cool. No problem. So anyway. But you got to be careful with the measuring spoons. You have to really pay attention to how they're made. Because, if you use them a lot, you don't want to get the kind where the measurement is painted on there, because you're going to keep constantly touching it and and washing it. It's going to wear away, and again, me, I use a tablespoon for coffee. Or if I find a cooking I guess a couple cooking channels that I am subscribed to. And there's one I really like. I think I mentioned her before, Island Vibes Cooking or something like that. Her stuff is so quick and so simple, but she is so good. So sometimes I'll make some of her dishes. Her husband's got one too. I can't remember the name of his, Whipping It Up with Jay or something like that. But I never made none of his stuff, only hers. And then there's a few more I'm subscribed to. So a lot of times with her recipes, when she calls for something, measurement, she usually just says a tablespoon. Maybe a teaspoon. But there's been some other recipes that I found, teaspoon. So that's pretty much what I work with, And, so of course, can't find a tablespoon. I can use 3 teaspoons, But that's if you really on top of measurements. I'm not. How you doing? Because at one point, I would use 2 teaspoons for a tablespoon because I didn't know. And then I think my mom told me, or I found out it's actually 3 teaspoons to equal a tablespoon. But anyway, so you got to be real careful. So we bought her a set of measuring spoons, maybe last year from Home Goods. And, she's going by how it looks, what design she likes. And so I tell her if we get this, the paint is going to wear off. You're going to wash it over and over again and blah, blah, blah. And you're not going to know what it is. Okay? Unless you just, know it like that. And then, what was the other one? I'm not a big fan of the plastic ones. Or, that kind of plastic, whatever that is, material. So you want to get one, my thing is like the metal ones with the measurements etched in, okay? Because that way it's always there. You're going to know what it is and make sure you can read it. Because sometimes it may be etched in, but it's super small. You can't read it. Or, but she wanted the plastic ones, honey, okay? So we got that. We plastic with a metal, handle. And it was etched in. Problem was with one of them, because of the use and the weight of, it was I can't remember, was that the cup that might have, not the cup, or good morning. You too. It might have been a half cup or something like that. The weight of, say like the flour or the sugar is heavy. And the cup part, it's not, the metal, the arm it's not supported. Okay? It's not real good support. It's attached, but it's not real good support. So what ended up happening, it broke off. Okay? Because it's not made well. So just learning lesson. And she ended up throwing it away. Now, me, I wouldn't have threw it away. But, she's got mine on her own. She's going to do what she's going to do. If I try to explain, well, you still can use that. No, just keep, okay. Well, what's happening now is, no, just get rid of it, fine. But what's happening is, good morning. But what's happening is, now, we're going to have to buy this particular, whatever this is, so that you can have your full set. So, when I had my fire in the kitchen in the old house that I lived in, they had to get rid of everything, just everything. My damn juicer, honey. I had a Champion juicer. That's top of the line juicer and shit. Okay. I had to get rid of that. I had to get rid of my Vitamix. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a Vitamix. Doesn't matter, ma'am. It's gotta go. Okay. So, but I did find a nice, really nice blender. And I found this blender because I had bought one from Target, right? The carafe was glass. My daughter ended up knocking it over by accident one time in a sink or something like that, and it shattered. And it must have been a pretty hard blow because the glass was pretty thick. She felt so bad. Tears welling up. I'm like, oh, baby, it was just a mistake. Mommy is not mad about that. I get a blender. And I'm like, out by the Goodwill. It's like going to Goodwill. Find me a nice blender. Now listen, it's old school. It's kind of my dad having when I was little, okay? And first I was like, I don't know about that. So we plugged it into the wall. Lady let me plug it in the wall, make sure it works. Good morning. It works just fine, okay? But it really, really works. It's oh my God, I'm like, this is excellent. It's better. Good morning. It's better than the blender that I bought from Target, the newer style. It was better. And I don't know, I think I paid maybe a couple dollars for it. And, it's like, because if you go in the sections in them Goodwills, okay, where they have, damn, that's where I could have went and got her some cake pans. But anyway, where they have, the kitchen stuff. It was some good shit over there. Okay, some really, really good stuff. Now, I know sometimes some people don't like to buy used things, okay? And I'm not really big on buying used things. It depends. Now, I've done it, and I do it, Nothing wrong with that blender. I mean, it made a little bit of a noise. And Leah was like, well, it's making this noise. I'm like, yeah, does it work? I might need a little oil. It's fine. Actually, when I use it, it doesn't make that noise. Or I got used to it. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, it's an excellent blender. And it's funny to me is people laugh. I always kind of laugh about things that are older. And it's like, oh, that's old. You old. And it's like, a lot of things that are old, or they're not so much talking about the wear and tear of it, as opposed to the style of it. Thinking that because it's old or made from a, older time period, that it doesn't have value. But these things that they used to make, they made to, be used for long periods of time. Okay. Good morning. Not these short, quick periods of time like them damn measuring spoons. Guarantee let me find some old school measuring spoons. Okay. Them shits probably still got the measurement on it, etched in to the metal, and it ain't no amount of weight of anything that's going to break it. Okay. Things were made to last. I find that things nowadays, more modern things, they're purposely not made to last. So why? So just like with that measuring cup, I have to go buy another one. Okay, it's just money. These things were made to last. Houses. Man, I see sometimes they're building stores and buildings, and I'm like, that shit's gonna fall apart. That's not gonna last. I don't know what kind of wood that is. A builder told me it looked like some kind of. I'm like, that looked like that pressed wood. The cheaper or the less expensive, I'll say, shit that you buy at some of the stores, for whatever, bookshelves and all that kind of shit. That shit ain't gonna last for us. Damn, it's not real. Or I think they say it is actual wood. Some of it's not real wood, but some of it is. It's just like there's leftover shavings that's used, to make nicer things that they press together some kind of way and then make you a piece of junk furniture out of it, or a junk building, or a junk house. House is pretty, okay? Building is pretty, but it's not built to last. It's purposely not built to last, okay? The old house that I lived in, that I moved out of, people would come in there, visitors, good morning, people who I would have come in, to do work on the house. They always, oh my God, they would go crazy about this house. This house is so beautiful. I grew up in the house, okay? My uncles lived in the house when they were kids. So I was just like, okay, And finally, I'm like, I don't understand why people are always going crazy about this house. And they were like, because the woodwork. We did not paint the woodwork. My grandparents didn't paint the woodwork. I think they said like in the 70s, people started painting the woodwork, the trimming, the wood. And it took away kind of the character of the house. We didn't. My grandparents didn't, and I didn't. I painted myself in the house when I first moved in. Painted the living room, dining room, laid tile. Did all kind of work in the house. Okay, 'cause I love shit. I love working with my hands. I love it. Actually, one guy came in, a painter, because it was an area that I couldn't really paint. And, and my mom was there, and he was like, who painted this? And she was like, my daughter. And he said, she did this? He was like, yeah, I put the blue tape up and, everything on the wood, so I wouldn't get the paint on the wood. I had a couple of oops situations, but nothing major. And he was like, oh my gosh, she's an excellent painter. He thought I was a painter. It's like, no, I'm not a painter. She was like, no, she just did it. Just wanted to do it herself. And it wasn't about a money thing. I didn't even think to hire someone to do it. I wanted to do it because I like challenge. I like to challenge myself, and do, Good morning. If I can't figure it out, I mean, if there's something I want to do, I just figure out how to do it myself. If it's something that is beyond my scope and I have to hire someone, then I will. Good morning. And I didn't really see what was the big deal. Just, because I asked him, because I did get to meet him, and I said, well, I don't understand. It's just paint. It's just painting. Why is it a big deal? And he was like, oh, baby, some people can't paint. My mother was like, yeah, you could look at some paint jobs and see, that's a terrible paint job. So for him to see that, as a professional painter, that how good this is, he actually told her, he said, well, I don't give her my number. I wouldn't mind her working with me. Oh, of course, you don't need to go work with that man. Listen, honey, I ain't worried about that man. And that man ain't worried about me. Shit, I was like, whatever, Ma. Moms like to be in control. I want to control you. I think about that as like, try your damnedest. Do not be controlling with your daughter. Concern is one thing. Care is one thing. Controlling is another, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but back to what I was saying. But anyway, wood, real wood, so now I'm walking up this hill. This is a different hill. This is a steady incline here. So, people, what I find is this laughing at the old. Honey, that stuff is built to last. Made with real wood, not pressed together, thrown together. It's pretty, but bitch, give it a minute, it's gonna be leaning in a second. Okay, but anyway, because like the house I lived in, that house I'm talking about, was like 100 years. Well, I think either this year, this year, 2022, yeah, it's 100 years old this year. That house is fine. Now, it does have some issues in terms of the land shifts. So you can see the shifting, like in where there's some cracks close to the ceiling because it shifted because of the movement of the earth. Okay, things like that. Other than that, the house is in perfect condition. Okay. But it's sold and gone out of my hands. It was great for the time that I was there. Good morning, y'all. I certainly hope that the new people that go in there can deal with all the supernatural phenomenon. Because there was a lot in that house. Now, I'm not talking about the black magic folks was throwing my way. There was phenomenon in that house. Now, I thought it was just my house. Well, my neighbor's fiance at the time, I was telling him about it. And he saw some strange happenings outside of my house. Okay? And I went to the house one day to get my mail. This was a while ago. And he was leaving. Him and my neighbor, they broke up. Good morning. But he told me, he said, when you were telling me all that, he said, oh, hold on. Good morning. He said, when you were telling me all that, He said, honey, there's stuff going on over here. I said, for real? He said, yeah. He was telling about some of the phenomenon that happened over there next door. And I met somebody else. I talked about a street up the street. I told her, she said, yeah, was shit going on there too. You know, but I think I said it in my last video about how when those men came to look at my house to purchase it, they were telling me what the space used to be like in those areas, like some kind of holding spaces. Give me some water real quick. All right, like some kind of holding spaces for I don't know, Native Americans or something. Like, I just talked to a girl I work with, young girl, she's Jewish, and I was telling her how much I hate it here, and she was telling me how much she loves it here. And but we got to talking about the city, and I was telling her what I had heard about, the area, this Northeast Ohio area being cursed. And she said, oh yeah, she said, yeah, I've heard that. She said, it's true. So this is like about the fourth or fifth person, good morning, who, this is, I don't know, maybe it's just some kind of tale or something. But hell, honey, if you don't live here, come on through. You'll be like, oh, that shit must be true. Yeah. You know what they say, like back in the day, they used to say about New York, if you can make it there, you make it anywhere. No, honey, listen. You can make it in this motherfucker. Cleveland motherfucking Ohio. Bitch, you can make it any goddamn where. This is a hard motherfucker, I'm telling you, boy. Okay? And, good morning. Though not born here. Bitch, I've been here all my life, bitch. Except when I lived other places, It's a hard place. I lived in New York. I had no issues, fell right into it. Day number 1. Well, maybe more like day 2. Day 1, I just got in there and got settled in where I was supposed to live. And got my, got 2 jobs and everything before the week was out. Knew the land, I feel some drops coming down. I may have turned around. Good morning, good morning. This lady passed by. Is she cute? The older man was looking at her like, gobble, 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 baby. Like he could just gobble her up. Now, I know some of y'all don't like that shit. I love that shit. I think it's cute as hell. But anyway, I'm gonna turn around because I want to go to the end, point 5, but I feel some drops. And I don't know. It's a 2-mile walk. I don't want to be caught out here in the rain. Like I said, I forgot my umbrella. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and finish it out. Okay, but anyway, no, I see the drops. I see the droplets. I'm going to be mad if I go all the way to my car and it doesn't do any more than this. And only space here is this bridge. And then there's a couple other picnic areas I could go cover myself in. Or just walk in the rain and be drenched. But anyway, oh shit, I was talking about so much. The old shit, the supernatural phenomenon. That house. Man, when I first moved in that house, now again, I've been there all my life, but a kid growing up, it probably was shit going on there. But I was a kid, But, I've encountered that shit ever since I can remember. So it don't bother me no more. It stopped bothering me a long time ago. Even when people do shit and they send shit and they do shit in my dream, what they dream and portray, it's like whatever, But I don't like it. When people purposely do it, depends on what it is. I ain't gonna tell you what it is. What I really don't like Because then you'll ramp it up. Like, yeah, let's just keep doing that to her. But, honey been chased by demons. I mean, all kind of stuff. Ever since I was a kid. So when I first moved in the house, I used to stay up really late. 11 o'clock. Honey, let me tell you something. 11 o'clock in that living room, it never failed. It was like 11 o'clock on the dot. It was party time, bitch. I mean, the activity in that living room was off the chain. And I'm like, it was just straight party time. They come out. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. And they came out 11 o'clock. Every night that I was down, usually on the weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, baby, I mean, they had them a good time. You know? Saw some kind of, I had bought this couch from Levin. Okay. And good morning. I bought this couch from Levin. And very nice couch. So when people talk about how they don't want to buy old, it got spirits on it. Baby, it don't matter if it's old or new. Okay? New, you think you're the only person that comes across that piece of furniture? It's people make it. It's in all kinds of people's hands. Okay, the parts to it. There are people who are working in parts. Please, it don't matter if it's old or new. You know, you pray over it, cleanse it, whatever. If that's what you do, it don't matter. Do it over the old as well as the new, okay? But if it's an old piece of furniture, sometimes a new piece of furniture, you know, your senses, your intuition, okay? Some people are not in tune with it or just overlook it. Don't do that. Do not do that. Listen to yourself. Pay attention to yourself. If you feel discomfort, if something in you feels off or doesn't feel right, I don't care how the piece of furniture fucking looks, or the clothes, the piece of clothing, the shoes, okay, whatever. If there's something in you, okay, that doesn't feel right, leave it where it is. Okay? Leave it. You want to look for a place to stay, neighborhood, you don't sit well with that, don't live in that neighborhood. Okay? The apartment that you're looking at, whatever. It might be the same building. One apartment, it don't feel right in there. Don't move in that motherfucker. The apartment next to it or the one down the hall on the other floor might be fine. Don't move in. I'm telling you, don't do it. Pay attention to yourself. You go in that motherfucker, and I'm not saying you may have supernatural phenomena, but you will have some other things going on in there. Like there was a school that I was working at. Okay? And it's some serious fucking issues in that school. And I was like, this motherfucker needs a fucking cleansing. For real. I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she said, oh my God, she said, you feel it? I said, yes, it's something in here. It's something in this building. She said, I can't help but wonder if it was a disgruntled, employee who did something. They cursed it or something. She said, or it's built on some kind of burial ground. I was like, you're the only other person I've talked to. Because I've said it to other people, like, there's some shit in this building. We need to sage, bitch. Pray. Okay. Clean this motherfucker out. She was like, how about just tear it the fuck down? Okay. I was like, right. Okay. I was like, there's some shit in here. It got people going fucking wild. Okay. The kids is wild. I'm telling you. Especially the ones that already got issues. It's just let them hit that building. Boom. They off the chain. It's like, and people, I was told, they said that some of the people, they had been employees having nervous breakdowns in the building, having to leave. And at first I was like, oh, these kids is a strip. And he's like, no, bitch, it's not the kids. There's something here. All right. But anyway, so I got this beautiful leather couch, okay, from Levin. Listen, I ain't feel nothing about that couch except that it was on sale. And I wanted a leather couch. And it was a deep, like a chocolate. Oh, it was beautiful, okay? And a chair to go with it. But anyway, so First night I sit on the couch and I was like, wait a minute. Something off here, you know. Okay, don't worry about it. Next night I go sit on the couch. Like, okay, just new couch. I got to get used to it. So, the time that I told you, 11 o'clock, they come out party time in that house, okay? Sat on the couch one time. 11 o'clock hit. The freaks came out at night, and there was something that crawled up from behind that couch. Looked like octopus-like type thing. And I said, oh, hell. You know, and I wasn't about to get rid of my couch. Yeah, I just bought that motherfucker, and it was gorgeous, right? I really wasn't scared of it. You know, those things just wouldn't scare me because it's like, I remember one person, which is interesting because this person do more black magic than the law should allow, but was scared of little things. And I'm like, why would you fuck around with this shit if you're scared of whatever? Because they couldn't stay in the house half the time. Your house, something wrong with your house. Yeah, bitch, just your shit in here. It's all right, you know. And, you know, I just, you know, tell her, listen, you know, don't bother me, okay? You're going to be in here. You motherfuckers don't bother me. Don't cause me no fucking problems and issues. But my grandfather's his home. He lived there. Now I think I did share that I never saw him. Everybody else saw him. Almost everybody came through saw him, and even the people who were cleaning the house with when I had the fire, they had to go in the basement and do some things. And all right, you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And one of the guys came. We were kind of talking about that, and he said, "Yeah, there was something down there." I said, "For real? What was it?" He said, "I don't know. Just there's someone or something down in your basement, you know." And the girl was with him, just shaking her head like, you know. But I was like, "Well, y'all not scared?" They was like, "No, you know, just want you to know that." I said, "Oh yeah, I know. It's in this whole fucking house, you know. It's shit all over." Now I grew up on the other side of the house, and I don't recall anything like that on the other side. Okay, but definitely that side, but. Anyway, I mean, you don't know who lived in these houses. You don't know. I mean, even my grandparents, shit, I don't know what they might. You know, my grandmother used to read palms, okay? Now, they used to say, oh, she doesn't really read them. She's playing. No, she was reading them shits. Well, that's my belief, okay? I was a kid, and it was like, you know, she would read my palm all the time. And I would be like, she could do that for real, mommy, for real. And they were like, well, no, she's just playing. She's just having fun. Nah. Because she would know this stuff. And I assumed I asked my mom, you told her all of that stuff? How'd she know? You know, like about when we went to camp. My mother never did say she told her. I just looked at her. She just looked at me and smiled, you know. I don't know if she was teasing me, you know, or, you know, or what. But anyway, moving on. So, anyway, you know, good morning, Sister Locks.
Yes, Sister Locks.
Who does yours?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
How do I forget Pat? No, that's my Maryland one. Tracy.
Tracy. Oh, you from Maryland?
Yes.
Okay, D.C. area? D.C. DMV?
Prince George's County.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So my consultant's name was Pat.
Okay.
Here is Tracy Washington.
Oh, I know Tracy.
Who do you go to?
I go to a lady named Sophia. When I first came back here, I was looking again. Well, I had them.
Where were you from? Where did you go?
Well, when I first had them, I got them in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
A lady named Blenna did them. I came here. This was long ago.
Okay.
I didn't think that nobody here did them.
Yeah,
So I tried to combine them.
Okay.
Girl, it was a mess. So I just cut. I just cut them out.
Yeah.
And then I found about the Sister Lock website, and I found Tracy,
Oh, okay.
and she does a I didn't know she was still doing
Yeah,
them.
she's still doing it.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Does a phenomenal
She
job,
does,
you
she
know.
does.
Well, yeah, and I had thought about, I just never, because I wasn't sure. Then I finally did.
So how long have you been going to? Is it Sophia?
Sophia.
Yeah,
I've been going. I think I'm into my third or fourth. I got mixed up. I think my third year. This past February was my third year.
I just moved here last year, so I just started going to her last
Okay.
year. That's why I was confused. Like, wait a minute, what is her name?
Right. How you like the area? I know, yeah. Because listen, I love the DMV area. I went to Howard.
Oh,
so
okay.
man, honey. And I went Well, I graduated a long time ago.
Okay.
Graduated in 94.
So you're younger than me, because I think I graduated from college in '88. So
Oh, really?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then I went back. I hadn't been there in a long time. Well, here and there, you know, but not for no long period of time.
Yeah.
I go back to go to homecoming. Listen, I didn't know where I was.
Yeah,
my friend,
everything's changed
oh
so
my gosh,
much.
my friend still lives in Maryland, and she said, "Girl, you know where we at? We at such a." I was like, "Are you serious?" Because area we used to walk all the time.
Yeah.
They had the gentrification is off the hook, and it tripped me out because Howard, you know, you see the clock tower. And I was like, wow, Howard is like right in the midst of
center.
all
And
of
you know
this.
they want to
Like,
buy it up.
I know they do. I know they do. But the thing about it was, it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
You like it, but you don't like
Right,
it.
right.
I mean, the Pyramid Bookstore is gone.
Yeah,
you know, you know about the Pyramid.
yeah,
What was
a
the
lot of
other
stuff.
one with the
Yeah.
King Tut on the outside? You know what I'm talking about? I think it was that Georgia Ave on the corner of Georgia Ave.
It was the Greek store. Good morning. I can't
Good
think
morning.
of it.
Yeah.
The Guild. You talking about the Guild?
I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
It might have been, I don't even think I knew the name of it. We would just go. They would have vegan breakfast,
Okay.
brunch and everything.
Oh, there's a vegan place on Georgia Avenue now. Everlasting. No, she changed the name to Woodland Cafe or something.
Okay,
Like that.
well that place is closed. They tore it down.
Okay.
When my friend told me, she said, "Oh, they tore it down." I was just like, "Oh my God, all the
It's-
flavor!"
it's different.
It is, but it still had that DC feel.
Yeah.
I love DC. And then I did go back, work at a school, so I went back for the kids went, you know, for their Washington
Yes.
DC trip. But
Oh.
I didn't get to see what I
You
wanted
gotta
to
go back
see.
and spend some more time.
Yes. Look, I would love to move there, but I know it's expensive as
Yeah,
all
it's
get. It
3
was
times more
expensive back
expensive than
then.
here, yes.
Oh yeah.
Here it's very affordable.
It is.
No.
Yep. Okay. All right, you too. All right. Anyway. I do. I ask everybody I meet who they tell me they're from somewhere. I'm like, how you like here? But anyway, depends on where they're from. But anyway, but I shouldn't be like that about Cleveland. There's some nice shit here. It really is. And I don't really get out and do shit. Okay. Well, that's my fault. But it still just don't have the same flavor. But anyway, moving on back to what we were talking about. So, anyway, so I had a picture I took in the house and showed a friend of mine. She was like, "Oh, look at all the demonic activity." I don't know if she said demonic or if she just said activity. Spiritual, that's what she said, spiritual activity. I said, "You can tell." She said, "Yes." She pointed the air. "Hi, how are you?" I said, "Yeah, it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it in there. It is." Okay. But anyway,
Have a good weekend.
all right, you too. And I laugh about it, but that shit, after a while, that shit just, can drain you. Yeah, I just got so used to it, though. Hey, don't bother me. My daughter, only thing my daughter saw was my grandfather when she was real small, And when we first moved in there, my grandmother, she had died in the house. She died in the dining room. So when I first moved in there that night, when we moved my stuff in, my daughter, she ran in the house. She was about 3 years old, 3 or 4, ran in the house and boom, stopped right at the doorway to the dining room. She stopped dead in her tracks, looked around and looked back at me. And I was like, "You can go in there. It's okay, And she went on through. But, all right, you too. But other than that, it was the, she used to see my grandfather when she was real small all the time. Now, I didn't know who it was. I just knew people saw a man. People, who's that man? I didn't know who the hell they were talking about. Till somebody saw his picture. It was like, him. That's who's in there. I was like, "Oh, that's my grandfather." Since this was his house. And he told me. When I was leaving, I told him he'd come with me. First he said, yeah, he would come. And then he told me he was not leaving. He didn't want to leave his home. So he stayed there. But anyway, and I still didn't see him. But one of my last days there, I went and walked in the doorway in a little foyer hallway area. I smelled him for the first time. I was like, there he is. There he is. Because I'm sure he knew. I kept telling him, I don't see him. He has not made his presence known to me. But I believe you because you're like the 1,000th person that has seen him and described him to a T, And, but, I did eventually start talking to him. One time I just told him, hey, this was my early days in there. You're scaring people. You can't be scaring my friends, Of course, my mom was like, some of them need to be scared. Maybe that's why he's there, So anyway, good morning. So anyway, but then later he said he didn't want to leave his home. So cool, And it's crazy because the things that people saw that he did, it wasn't like just the presence. I mean, he was doing things. Like one person, she stayed there for a little while. She saw him come down the steps, go in the kitchen, and she said it was like he got a cup of water and then he went in your basement. And I told my aunts and they were like, well, that's what he did every night at 2 o'clock in the morning. He would get up every night, 2 o'clock in the morning, go downstairs, get him some water. And now I don't know about that going to the basement part. Someone else, what did they see him? Oh, someone else, it was like they heard him coming from the 3rd floor, went to the bathroom and used the bathroom, and I was like, what? And he said, I heard him using the bathroom and he flushed the toilet. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, that's what he got to do. That's what he got to do. I mean, just, like one person was talking about their fear of all this spiritual phenomena. I was like, well, what you going to do? Hell, spirits is everywhere. Sage all outside. Now, I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? We carry stage with you. I'm a sage here with me. Outside, inside, everywhere I go, I'm not saying just live with things that are causing you problems, okay, and issues and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that either. It's just, they're everywhere. They exist. They are. We exist with them. And sometimes you don't always have to be in a space of fear. Shit, you want to be more in fear of those people that you do see. Them the motherfuckers to fear, okay? As opposed to the spirits that you don't see, all right? Depends, just like you try the spirit by the spirit, just like people, okay? How do they treat you? So on and so forth, Their treatment is, look, it ain't even rain. I should have went all the way to the end. I knew it, but that's okay. It was drizzling. I thought it was about to come down. But anyway, again, you try the spirit by the spirit, okay? And that is whether it is a spirit that is unseen or a spirit that dwells in someone that you do see, And we live and learn. We make, we make mistakes. Some are, cloaked and devious and all of that kind of thing. And then, of course, we act out of our own, particular issues, temptations, so on and so forth, spirits that dwell within us that, we have picked up over the years along the lines for whatever reasons, and work to eliminate those, out of our being, out of our system, upon discovery. Sometimes we don't know, we don't know, but upon discovery, and I personally believe that not everything that comes to you that becomes a part of you is there to hurt you. Sometimes they come to help you. But what happens is the hurting you part comes in when when they take over. Okay, and then seek to possess you and control you. You've given them, you've become a host for them. Okay, and it might have been helpful in the early stages. Look, now it is drizzling. Shit, I don't know what, outside don't know what it's gonna do. Outside ain't made up its mind yet, okay? But anyway, sometimes, they are there, and I'm not saying that you something that you actually see or whatever. Okay, sometimes maybe, sometimes no. Okay, but it may help you to navigate circumstances, issues, problems, situations, especially when you're young. Okay, and you're completely open and vulnerable. All right, but definitely during other times, vulnerable stages and particular issues that cause vulnerabilities in particular areas of your life. They can come to assist you, okay, in moving forward, okay, or dealing with it, whatever it is, when you have no other way. All right, but again, they stay. And if you don't know that something is coming, usually if you're young, you don't know. And more than likely, it don't matter if you're young or not, you still may not know. You understand what I'm saying? Because now you're a host for them. And then they want to take over and control your life. And you can't figure out, why can't I do A, B, C, and D? Or why is this a problem for me? Or why does it feel like, when you have come to a particular age, okay, or state of mind, state of being, when you're realizing that you are imprisoned in some areas of your life, or maybe your whole life, okay, your whole being, your whole way of thought, so on and so forth, and then you're trying to get free in whatever area you may be trying to get free in. Like for me, for example, trying to this weight loss thing. Well, it's been an issue for me ever since I was young. Okay, well, I made a post on my Instagram where I had a sleeveless shirt on. Very self-conscious about my upper arms, because my dad one time when I was a kid, probably about 14 years old, squeezed my arm, hugged me, squeezed my arm real tight, and I thought my dad was the bee's knees. Okay, I thought my dad was everything, like a lot of people think about their dads. Okay, whether he was, good morning, whether he was a real father or not. Okay, he was still my dad. He was still my father. Okay, and I loved him, more than anything. My grandfather first, who lived in the house, then him. And those who watched my other video when I talked about too tight, all right? But anyway, and so he squeezed my arm, and he says, "You got some big arms, Nick." Huh? You got some big juicy arms. You got arms just like your mama. Your mama had arms like that when she was young. Well, okay, I'm not going to get off into the mother part, which mother he was talking about, okay, because the mother who raised me didn't have no big arms. Well, she did when she gained weight, just like anybody else. But as a young person, she didn't have it. She was a very skinny woman, very thin woman, and she didn't have no big arms. And I told her, and she was like, "I ain't never had no big arms." Okay, so, he may have been talking about the woman who birthed me. But the thing about it is, when I look back at that picture, I'm like, my arms aren't big. Now, were they, super thin and shapely? No, but they were not big arms. But it made me extremely self-conscious. But I was already self-conscious about my weight. Okay, because, I was a chunky kid. Everybody goes, "She's so solid. She just solid. And I'm a little kid, and they're telling me I'm solid. "Oh, can I sit on your lap, granddaddy?" "Sure, you can sit on my lap," or whoever, And, "Oh, she's so heavy. She's just solid." This is what I heard. And then a sibling telling me, "You're fat," all the time. Okay? All the fucking time. So, here it is. I have this battle. Okay, with quote unquote weight. When a lot of times I look back, when times I thought I was fat, like with the picture with the big arms, and I look back at pictures, like, you weren't fat at all. Not at all. I was not a skinny person, though. I just wasn't. I wasn't a fat person either. Okay. So, but I was extremely self-conscious because this was all I heard. "You're solid. You're fat." Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Look at her. She like to eat. She like food. Yeah, girl. That's the kind of shit I heard. Since I was small. Okay. Now, I don't think necessarily. Okay. Good morning. I don't think necessarily that there was anyone was trying to hurt me. Okay, it's just things people say and do, and the children carry those things. Because see, I didn't see it as cute or something. I do remember one time. Well, yeah. I don't want to. It's just another story. I don't have to go into it. But anyway, just being called fat. Okay. But I wasn't skinny. I was. Now there were times I did go through a chunky stage, like that preteen stage. I did, and then over time I just kind of thinned out. But I still wasn't skinny. So I assumed, because I wasn't skinny, that I was fat, because I was told I was fat. And I look back at this picture, and then I remember my mom told me that when my dad, separated, my dad left and didn't come back, to the home, which was very difficult for me, because my dad was like I said, when my dad would come home from work, here I am, my 3-year-old little self. It was like watching him walk through the door was like literally seeing, it was like I would just see the sun. It was like I could see the sun walking through the door. It was just like, my heart would be so overjoyed every time my dad walked in the door from work. I loved it. And it was like I saw the sunshine walk through the door, And so anyway, she said when he left, what I did was I started to eat. Just eat so much that she had to regulate my eating. So I wasn't allowed to just go in the kitchen and grab something to eat. I wasn't allowed to just go in there and go to the refrigerator and get a piece of fruit or whatever the case may be. I had to ask all the time, unless it was breakfast, lunch, and dinner served. If they wasn't served, I had to ask. Okay? Now, I didn't know why I had to ask. I just know I had to ask. And all I knew was that I'm fat. And I like to eat. Did I make any kind of connection that, okay, my dad is gone? No, I was too young to make that kind of connection. I didn't have the ability to make that kind of connection. The childhood development at that stage, the development hadn't kicked into adult stage to be able to reason. My dad is left. I need comfort. My brother shed tears. I didn't shed tears. I just said, okay, he don't love us no more. My mother said, don't you ever say that again. But in my mind, I said to myself, I said, okay. And then I said, but he don't. In my mind, I said, he don't. That was my reason, he don't. Okay, but guess what I love? And guess what I'm going to make love me? Food. Comfort. He's gone. Okay? Now, and I didn't even know that I started eating like that. I was grown. I was good and grown. Past my college years and all of that kind of stuff. Good and grown when my mom shared that information with me. Lady who raised me. Okay. Which was even more challenging for me, because though I did not know that the woman who was raising me was not my birth mother, okay, I didn't know that. I just found that out in December of last year. Though I didn't know that, I knew that I had some kind of special connection to my father that I did not have with her. I'm not saying I didn't love her. I loved her dearly. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I loved her. I love my mama. You understand what I'm saying? I did. But there was a little special spark that I did not have with her that I had with him. And now I understand why. Okay? But also, what was I going to say about that? Oh, I had issues with detachment. Okay. Now, all these years, I thought the issue with detachment was based off of him leaving. Okay. That's what I thought it was. Surely, that was part of it. Okay. But finding this out and having the vision that I had of being born and the nurse holding me and looking like this was a tragic situation. But I couldn't see my mother, and I kept trying to open a vision. And I was having this vision for months, and I kept trying to open it. It wouldn't open for me. Okay, I couldn't make it open. I only saw that. I kept seeing it in a dark room. And I'm like, why is this lady The nurse is holding me. Why is she looking like that? Why is she looking like this is a bad, tragic situation? What's happening? Like she wanted to cry. Well, then I realized it doesn't matter, infant or not, born, given to someone else, maybe that day, the next day, shit, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Whenever, okay? There is, you have been detached. You've been taken away, okay, from the person, good morning, from the person that literally gave you life. That you were formed and knit in this person's womb. You were created by this person. You are this person. This person is you. And I don't even think I was held by her. Okay, from what I could see in the vision. Okay, so what I'm saying is, so I always had these issues with detachment as well. Okay, so the woman who raised me, well, when I was very small, please, are you kidding me? I clung on to her like white on fucking rice, baby. Like white on fucking rice. Because, I hated it. My mother had dropped us off somewhere, especially when I was small. Now, as I got older, a little older, I'm not talking about, older, a little bit older, still small child. But I was able to, good morning, adapt to the reality that, okay, she's got to go to work or wherever she's got to go, and I have to be with these people. It didn't matter who the people was. They were nice, wonderful people. It didn't matter. I want my mother. I want her. I'm supposed to be with her. Okay, this was how. Now I understand why. Okay, so the issue, and then the biological father, my father, leaving. Okay, so in a sense, in one regard, it was like complete, total abandonment. Okay, even though the lady who raised me, I loved her to death, clung on to her, and nobody separated me from her. And that was the spirit of it. Nobody separating me from her. Okay, now, it's been a year since I've seen her, okay, or really had a conversation with her, okay, which was needed, okay, but now I understand these things. So when I was talking about the spiritual aspect, so what was my friend, okay, what gave me the comfort, what gave me what I needed with all of that was food, okay, and it's really no wonder that I wasn't bigger. That I didn't, just become some extremely obese person. Okay? Because food was it, baby. Love food. I used to say, before I knew this, food is life. Yeah, now I know why I even said that. Food is life. Okay? Because my life was taken from me. Okay? In the form of my parents. Birth parents, I'm talking about. Okay? Woman who raised me did the best she could, given the situation that even she was thrown in, that she really didn't have to do. She didn't have to. Very thankful that she did. Okay, there's some dark aspects to that, but I'm not talking about the dark aspects now. Okay, it doesn't matter at this point. At least for the topic of conversation. It really don't matter at all no more, to be perfectly honest with you. Topic of conversation or not. Okay. She did the best she could. She did wonderful. Okay. And that I give her. Okay. But nevertheless, so the spiritual component. So what happened was, food. Okay. Every waking moment, food. Good morning. But also I had the ability to be able to assess situations and deal with it accordingly. So the situation that I had to assess was, you're eating too much, girl. Pull it back. Liked it or not. Okay, I'll pull it back. When I had to ask for food, I didn't have a choice. Okay, but also I didn't want to be an obese person. I didn't like being called fat. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like any of that, type of thing. Okay, so I was able to, when I needed to, tame it, that beast, okay, that was within, as a result of, I turned to food. And she basically told me, you turn to food. Now, she didn't tell me all the other shit, okay? But I turned to food, okay? Now, what am I saying about the spiritual aspect of it? Spiritual aspect, okay? These entities that come, okay? Here, the entity that came, okay? How can I say? I don't have no name for it or anything like that, okay? Was through food. I'm not saying the food itself, but it could have been. I don't know. Okay, but I'm not saying through food itself. I'm saying through food. Here, I will be your comfort. Okay, in all the pain and loss that you've been dealing with since you were born. I'm gonna help you through this. Okay? And it did. But then over time, okay, and what happened was now you want to take over because it was a constant battle back and forth. Pick up weight, lose weight, pick up weight, lose weight. And not just comfort food. The losing of the weight in terms of can't eat this, can't eat that, can't eat this, can't eat that, can't eat shit. Okay? You gotta lose this weight. Okay? Weight loss, boom, bam, great. Okay, now, but guess what, bitch? Kind of like, what do you call the people with the food? I forget what the exact title is called. But somebody, whoever's listening, is probably calling it to mind as I'm talking about it. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I didn't do anything like, I didn't become bulimic, anorexic, or, anything like that. Thank God. Okay, which I could have. Okay, but I just couldn't, when I first heard about people, I hated throwing up when I was sick, It just grossed me out. It was disgusting. It stunk. So it was like, oh my God, I couldn't put my finger all the way back in my throat. You know what I'm saying? And make myself do that. That's just, that was my thinking. So that wasn't an option. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I wasn't going to starve because I like food too much, fat or not. I like food too much. What the fuck? I guess I just got to exercise. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing. I ain't got no choice, bitch. I gotta exercise. You know what I'm saying? And cut back on eating so much. Okay? But it was but what would happen was, I would go, I guess you could probably call it a binge. I don't know. Where it would be months. Because I just lost all this weight. I didn't eat all these things. Now, bitch, I want it. So it wouldn't be a thing of, well, I'm just going to eat a little bit here, just a little hot dog this weekend. Just a little hamburger this weekend. Nah, bitch. Then I'm back. However long, weight gain. Here, the cycle is repeating itself. Okay? And this is what I've been going through. Okay? And I realized a long time ago, I realized a long time ago. It's like this is a spiritual battle you're dealing with. Excuse me. This was quite a few years ago. Okay. Maybe quite a few years ago that I came to that realization. About 10 years ago, maybe. This was some kind of spiritual battle. I didn't know the cause of it, though. But I knew that it was. And I said, thank you. This is how I handle it. I'm not telling you to do this. Everybody's different. Called out the spirit in the way that I was able to call it out. Okay, don't have a name, once again. But thank you for when you came to help me. Okay, and offer me the comfort that I needed for that period of time. But now you want to take over my life. Or I'm realizing you want to take over my life. You got to go. Okay, you have to go. Okay. Now, did it stop right there? Now, I'm not saying that the spirit did not leave. Okay. Resist the devil, he will flee. Call them things out. Tell him, baby, you got to go. A lot of times we are overtaken by things because we simply succumb to them, or we welcome them in, or we allow them to stay. Okay, after maybe in some way, shape, or form we've opened ourselves up to them. We have power too. The power of the word. What is it? Let us make man in our own image. And God said, let there be. Okay. And God breathed his breath into man, and man became a living soul. You have the breath of God in you, the breath of life literally from the mouth of God, from the being of God, from this deity, okay, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to look at it, all right? You have the power to speak and make it so. But understand, in doing that, see, one of the worst things that I think could have been done in my generation, Generation X, was fast food, microwave reality. My generation, that's when idea came through, and now it trickles down to others, along with other shit that they've piled on. Okay? These forces of darkness. You have to understand. Okay? Nothing worth its weight in anything is overnight. Like I talked about them houses and buildings they build overnight, and it ain't worth a damn. Okay? Houses built on sand. Okay? Well, built with sand. Shit. It's not worth a damn. It's going to fall apart. Okay? So, the realization came 10 years ago. Spirit called out, told Vamoose, you got to go now. Thank you for your time. Thank you for what you did when I was in need. Okay? But now, it is time for you to leave. I am no longer a host for you. Okay. Now, does that mean the habit has stopped? No. Even that's a spirit, though. Even that's a spiritual thing. Okay? Because everything is. Okay? But also understand, even if not, like I was saying, nothing happens overnight. Okay, fine. I leave. But what you're going to have to understand that there's a lot more to your life story than just me coming here offering you comfort because your daddy walked out the door and didn't come back. It's a lot more. Okay? And you're going to find out, and you're going to figure that shit out 10 years later. Oh, shit. Pow! Oh, shit. Wait a minute now. Yeah. And I'm hearing it say, I did a lot more for you than you realize. You did. Absolutely. But now, it is not for me to allow you to rule and regulate my being and deal with my issues with these simplistic means that's causing me detriment and causing me problems. So thank you once again. But be gone and stay gone. Okay. I'm not your host. I'm not here for you. All right, you too. Thank you. I'm not here for you. But again, I show my gratitude. I'm thankful for what you have done. Okay? That's just an example. One, I'm sure my own personal life, I could give many. So what is my goal? I'm at the end, back to where I started. My goal is to get off that cycle. To take care of myself at 50 years old and counting. To be as healthy as I can possibly be. To like what I see in the mirror. To like me. Okay? To love the who that I am. The me that I am. The being that I am. And part of that is my responsibility to take care of myself. Regardless of the things that have happened in my life. And my goal is to do that without, so you can go from one extreme to the other. The constant working out, the constant dieting, the constant, not eating things that bring you any kind of enjoyment. Because my body. It's the same thing. It's just on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's the same shit. To not be in that cycle. That's my goal. Okay? And you know what? I am at the end. I'm sure there were many things that I started to talk about that I didn't finish because I got off on something else. But that's it. My loves. All right, y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful day. Peace.